What's going on, everyone? My name is Lane, also known as Shakalaka Lane.
And I'm Jack, also known as Sexy Potato, and this is our first streamer stories where we're going to talk about our progress as content creators on our YouTube channel as well as our individual Twitch streams. And honestly, gaming in general, anything else we really feel like talking about. But that's going to be the focus of this podcast. So I guess that's going to take us first into why exactly we're doing this podcast in the first place.
Basically, it comes down to we are bored during this coronavirus quarantine.
Honestly, yeah.
And we want to do something somewhat productive. That's not. I guess it is kind of work, isn't it?
I mean, like, yes, but it's also something I feel like we both really enjoy. We've both, I feel like, I've kind of tried to do something like this before to an extent. You much more than me. I kind of was just thinking about doing that in like the last month or so, trying to do stuff. You've been doing on and off with this kind of thing for like years. I feel like, yeah.
But I feel like with us doing it together, we can kind of hold each other accountable to having constant content uploaded
we literally have been playing games together for 5 years consistently, like consistently,
very consistently,
like every day. So I feel like we just work together really well in that way. And then when I was thinking, go ahead.
Okay. It all kind of started with Jack having not being able to sleep.
Not being able to sleep at 3 a.m. when I was like trying, because originally I was just gonna do something on my own, and at 3 a.m. I'm thinking, I was like, oh, I should document my progress the whole way through. And then, I pitched the idea to Lane over here, and he's like, hey, I want to do things too. And I was like, that's a dope idea, and here we are. So yeah, that's the kind of general story of how this started, the idea about it. So I guess we should go ahead and talk about what exactly are we going to be making.
Well, it's mostly gonna be video game related videos.
Yeah, we do play a lot of those.
We do. And then these short little podcasts, or at least hopefully short, we'll see how they go.
I assume that most of these are probably, I couldn't see them peaking much over 10 to 20 minutes on average.
Well, eventually, if we get far enough, we do want to start having people on, like other streamers, other content creators, around our level, interviewing.
Yes, absolutely.
So those might run a little longer, but just the weekly recap of how we thought we did, that will probably be pretty short.
Yeah, how we did, but also talking about kind of what I feel like a big thing is we wanted to talk about what we've learned, so we can pass those on to other people who maybe they're at the same point as us, or they're watching us develop and they're trying to maybe develop themselves, and they can come look at what we're doing, and see the growth that we make as well as, and then compare it to their own. And if someone's our own level, bring them in, talk to them, see what they're doing, compare ideas, and honestly just help both of us out in that way. And it's an easy way to tell people what the hell we're doing with the channel at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we didn't. Yeah. And finally, I guess it's the last kind of topic on this podcast to talk about is actually picking a name for the channel.
That is right. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's the biggest, most important part. Because if we were doing this individually, we just use our usernames and that'd be fine. But it's both of us, and we're trying to find something that's easily recognizable, interesting, but also not super cliche and lame sounding.
Well, because also as a group, you're basically deciding your brand with your name.
Exactly, because
your name will limit you on what you can do to people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. So, do you want to go ahead and, I guess, bring up because we've gotten it down to, we've done a lot of brainstorming. We've come down to 3 names that we kind of like a lot. And it's an interesting list.
I'll just show the whole list.
You're gonna no.
List.
No, that's we don't need the whole list.
I'll blur out a couple names. Blur out a couple. All right. I'll blur out a couple names. But I guess we have like a final three basically.
Yeah, we do have a final three. So let's go ahead and bring them up.
First one, broken doorknobs.
Broken doorknobs, which is an interesting story. Which I mean I can share that story, I guess.
Go for it.
So we're sitting around literally yesterday trying to come up with names, and I'm like, man, we've been at this for like 3 hours. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back, guys. And I as I'm leaving, I literally just ripped the doorknob off of my door. And I'm like, huh, okay. And then yeah, I just threw that hat in there, and somehow it made it to the final list because it's like super interesting and unique. And honestly, like, who the heck would ever think of that? So very recognizable, and surprisingly, I feel like you can market that because there's not a lot of people with like. There's not context there, right? I mean, there's videos of broken doorknobs.
The only thing you find when you search broken doorknob is how to fix a broken doorknob.
Exactly. So like,
and it's just so far out there that it's.
Yeah, and whenever somebody searches a broken doorknob, because it's going to happen to people all the time, boom, we're at the top of the list, hypothetically, if we grow at all.
If we grow even a little bit.
If we grow even a little bit, hopefully.
Okay, so the next two they kind of have like a similar theme.
Yeah, they are very similar.
The first say. XP Express.
XP Express,
Experience Express. And then the other one is WASD Express.
Yeah, and those kind of stemmed from originally we had a concept that was Gamers Express, and then I think we both just kind of agreed that we didn't like avoiding the whole cliche aspect. We didn't want gamers in the title, so we were like, well, let's find something else. And then Lane had this ridiculous idea.
So I just Googled gaming terms, and I found this Wikipedia page that was just full of gaming terms, and we literally went down the entire. It must have been like 200-300 gaming terms. Just adding express to the end of them. And I guess these were the two that we kind of liked the best from.
Yeah, these were the two that seemed to stick the best. Seemed the most like marketable, that like nobody really had this yet, and it wasn't like.
They're obviously gaming related.
Yeah, they clearly show what we're talking about. So I feel like it leaves a lot of room for growth for us with the with these two. So I guess we should get into the discussion of actually picking which one, shouldn't we?
All right, yeah.
So I guess
I'm gonna be honest. The one I like the least is XP Express.
I honestly, I think we could veto that one.
Like the XP Express, it almost, I don't know, it doesn't roll off the tongue very well in my mind.
Yeah, it is a little hard to say. Yeah, I'm just like, well, and then honestly, when I'm comparing to XP Express to WASD Express, anytime I pick XP, I think I would just rather go with WASD.
Yeah.
Right? Which I guess leaves us to a very weird last two, which is WASD and doorknob, broken doorknob.
I like them both so much, though.
They are both so good.
I like looking out into the future. I can just see like any intros we made, like the animations.
Yeah, can really picture both of them being. Of course, broken doorknobs being like kind of weird, but like that's something that you could.
It works.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that's different enough and weird enough that it might work.
Like when I think about it, I think of like Rooster Teeth. No.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's just,
and that makes no sense.
It makes no sense, but they're very coming up with a blank.
But I mean, but it's like yeah, they're very easy to recognize and stuff.
Like when you hear Rooster Teeth, you think of them. You don't think even like when they were smaller, like 10 years ago. So that's kind of where I see it with that. And then the WASD Express. Sorry, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna start talking about WASD Express as well, where it's just like, I'm surprised that it's not a thing. You know, like it just seems like such a good standard concept. Like, here, we're a gaming channel. WASD keyboards, obviously.
Yes.
Like, it just makes sense. It's the pinnacle of gaming. It's the first thing you learn when you're picking up PC games is WASD. Like, I still remember the first time I learned about WASD playing like computer games when I was like 8, and I was like, why would you use these and not the arrow keys? Obviously, I know now, but I definitely remember being one of the first things I learned about gaming was the WASD keys, and it's also something that's probably easily, like, as far as marketability, easily recognized. Absolutely,
like,
easily
recognized.
People run into it a lot on accident, because I feel like that's something that people, I feel like, wouldn't be uncommon to look up.
And it'll be people who are into gaming. It'll be our demographic, basically.
Yeah, and honestly, and also you could argue if someone's looking up what the heck WASD is, they're probably lower end, which is we're just starting. Yeah. So like, we're not Shroud or Dr. Disrespect or anything. So I think it'd be really interesting. So choosing, that's so hard.
I know, I can't decide. I'm leaning a little bit more towards WASD Express, but slightly, but not enough for me to, for sure want to pick it.
Yeah, because here's what I view as, I feel like WASD is the safe choice.
Yeah.
It's but Fallout's felt you can't really go wrong with it, but I feel like something with broken doorknobs, you can really that could either be horrible and totally unrecognizable. I feel like people might not find it whatsoever, or it could be just so out there that it's just helps us tremendously in the long run, and with brand recognizability. So it's one of those things where it's safe route or the riskier route. And that's just a hard choice.
Maybe we just flip a coin.
We could flip a coin, but then when it's in the air, that's when you make decision, right? That's the whole idea behind it.
I don't know if I want to rely that on luck.
I was like, I don't know about luck. So in the sense of for safety purposes, also, I absolutely would lean towards WASD.
Also with WASD, we can make it an acronym for something else too.
That is true.
I mean, WASD is highly recognizable, but there's no actual acronym for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we did talk about this when we were throwing ideas.
Or I guess not, XP isn't really an acronym. But
we tried, but there's nothing you could do.
What was one of the things for acronym? Oh, we didn't write them down, did we?
No, but it's you were talking about something wild and sarcastic,
just
something. There's a lot of possibilities there, so we can really turn it into an acronym as well, or honestly just leaving it as WASD because it's so recognizable. So
honestly, I think I'm gonna have to pick WASD Express, mostly because of I've told you about some of the animations I had in my head.
Yeah, you do have some. There are some. I do think. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think there's just more we can do with it.
Yeah.
And with broken doorknobs, I think broken doorknobs absolutely would work, but I think in the long term, there's more we can do with the WASD Express type thing. And I really like the idea of Express, train associated stuff. You can do a lot of shenanigans with that, silly plays on words, intro screens. So.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So WASD
Express. That's our name.
All right. Cool. And so I guess does that wrap it up?
Yeah.
Unless you got anything else to talk about?
No. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No. So I guess this is Streamer Stories.
Streamer Stories. I think we said we were
episode 0.
Episode 0. Not exactly the format that the rest are gonna have.
Yeah. Well, and also it's before we've even made the channel, so I feel like episode. So
it makes sense. Zero.
Streamer Stories episode 0.
Yeah.
Wrapped it up. All right. Well, see you guys next week, hopefully.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. See ya.
Yeah, absolutely.